Bryan Danielson refuses to be AEW World Champion. This is going to be quite a quick one, I'm sure. So Danielson said, I don't want to be the world champion. That's not my position anymore. The quality of wrestling in AEW is so high, it's hard to main event pay-per-views. That's not something my body can do anymore. Some fans would like that, but it's not my place. So there's two things here. One, he always has one of the best matches on any show he's on. But two, he thinks it's not his place to be champion anymore. Why not?
I don't think he wants to do it. I think he could do it, but he don't want that pressure on him. I don't blame him. And so he's saying he's turning it down and let somebody else do it. I've had my time, which I appreciate that. I've had my time. And he's still got a job with the AEW anyway. So it's not like he's turning it down. He doesn't have anything. But it is a strange thing to hear from somebody like Daniel Bryan. And he is very good. But again, when he tells me the level of wrestling, the caliber of wrestling on this show was so high that all he could do was bring it down, I don't think he'd bring it down. He still does stuff that the other guys, people, at least he has the name, and they can do something with him. So he's trying to put it all on wrestling. If I had to sit down and watch just wrestling all day, I'd be so sick of it that I never want to see another damn introduction again in my life. But if you add a story in there, okay, now let's see how this story develops now. And when I see a story developing and they're fostering it and they're nurturing it and they're bringing it along, that holds my attention and it's been proven, it holds the fans' attention too. So I don't know what's so hard about that to understand. All these guys doing all these moves. Oh my God, it looks like human ballet is what it looks like. With contact ballet is what it looks like. But it don't mean nothing. Make it mean something and you'll have people coming and watching it. That's how you sell gimmicks. That's how you sell pay-per-views. That's how you sell interest. Do something between them that the people can relate to and you're going to have business.
I remember when Bryan Danielson, we're never going to get over that. Bryan Danielson said, this is going to be my last year of wrestling. I'm going to wrestle full time, etc. And I said to you, what was the best way to book Bryan Danielson going forward for Maximum Impact? And at the time, he was wrestling like a new guy every week. It was just like a dream in his own head, I guess. A dream match every week, just a bunch of guys he wanted to wrestle, then he'd move on to the next one. He generally won as well. And you said, that's the worst thing to do. Have him have one giant, big, long-lasting feud that takes him an entire year and then has the big blow-off at the end of the year or whatever, and then he goes into the sunset. That's the way to draw money. Do you still feel that way?
That's with him, yeah. Look at Cody. They took 2 years to get him there. Of course, 9 months was due to an injury. The injury actually helped him because when he was hurt, that was when Vince was still in WWE. And who knows what Vince would have done to damn sideline that angle. But it took him 2 years to get to the end of the story. And they could still bring that story back at any time or a piece of it because just relate back to it. And then when we saw that, when he gave his position to The Rock, I'm thinking, what the hell are they doing? I mean, why would you work that hard and they could have done it, but you pissed your fans off. And you can't piss off your fan base. But anyway, yeah, I think, I don't know the thought process. If I've been in the creative meeting and said, all right, Dutch, this is the fuck what we got. We're going to let Daniel Bryan beat this guy and beat this guy and beat this guy. And he's already said he wants to retire and beat this guy. I'd say, well, why in the hell is he beating all our talent? He's quitting and we're still going to be here with talent that he's beaten. How are we going to revive these guys? That's the stupidest idea I have ever had. But if he says, I'm going in, he said, I got one more run in me. It's like Cody saying, I gotta do it for Dad. I got to do it for him. I got to do it. But if Daniel came out there and says, Oh, Daniel Bryan, and he came out there and said, I got one more run, and this will be my last. So, and then go, and he could actually go and win. And then the next week, he could just say, hey, I'm a man of my word, and I'm retiring, and here's your belt back. Thank you very much. I love all of you. Mm. And then he goes to work as an ambassador or something like that. But he doesn't just fade out. He's still there. So, and you know, when you say never in wrestling, you never say never in wrestling. You never say that. But give it another 6 months, a year, and you could use him in something else because the people are going to remember that. That's what I would have done with it. But him beating a guy here and beating a guy there and beating all your talent doesn't make a damn bit of sense to me.
Okay, I'm going to give you a booking idea, and you tell me good or bad. He goes, you know you're going to like it. He goes and wins the Owen Hart tournament. He wins the title at All in Wembley. Like, you could do a big emotional thing where he says, if I don't win this title here, I retire.
Yeah.
And then he does win it. And then he says, I tell you what, the person who knocks me off the perch, the person who beats me for this title, not only wins the belt, but gets to say that they retired Bryan Danielson as well. And then he promises when he loses the belt, he will retire. So then every match has got jeopardy onto it. And you know he's going to retire at some point.
Not a bad idea, but he has to turn some of those matches down. You know, somebody challenged him and he said, no, which kind of says, I think you could beat me and I'd have to retire. I would give it just a little bit of a choice whether he would accept the match or not, but that's not a bad idea. See, that's how matches are born in creative. Somebody comes up with an idea like that, then I come up with an idea that complements that, I hope, and then we discuss it. That's how creative is supposed to work.
Yeah, but all right, I know we're biased saying it, or I'm biased saying this, but us two we just made that up within 5 minutes. That's a better idea than anything they've done. Why don't they surely they've got somebody who can just think logically like that.
Because they probably give ideas. You're talking about AEW, right?
Oh, yeah.
They probably give ideas to Tony, and if it's not his idea, he don't want to hear it. I'm not saying that's true, but I think he's probably turned down more great ideas than he's come up with. Why have a creative team if you're going to not listen to what they got?
People overcomplicate this thing so much. I mean, storytelling is really, but what do you always say? Just make it so a 6-year-old can understand it. You don't have to talk down to people like they're 6 years old, but make it as simple that a 6-year-old can understand the motivations.
What's so hard about that? You're telling a story. Don't make it that, you know, you go into a lot of twist and turn and legalities and all this. Just, hey, he knocked the shit out of you from behind and you coming back to get him. Kids can understand that. They want to get even. Hell, they do that on the playground every day. So don't make it overly complicated. Make it so everybody understands it, and you probably got business. Hey, years ago when we had territories, God, that seems like back in the 1860s. But you know how much talent we had? 16 guys usually. 16 guys, and they worked every night. Here, Tony Khan's got 150, but still, and he can't book all of them. I don't know why he would have so many people. And
do you know what's been reported, right? You'll like this, is that apparently
how do you know I like it?
Oh, you'll like this, is that the roster bill alone, I don't know if this is true or not, something I heard very recently, for AEW annually is over $100 million. Just to hire everybody they've got on the... Maybe that includes office staff as well, I don't know, but they've got so many people under contract, and probably so many people...
I don't believe it.
No?
Nah.
There's quite a
that
few.
Means you'd have to pay... Oh, yeah, well, maybe. But it's probably some that they're just paid, say, $1,000 to make just to show up and not even do the show. But still, I don't think it'd add up to 100 million people. No, $100 million. I don't.
Okay, we're going to move on then. Something Kevin Nash said.
Tony, if you have a budget of 100 million people, I got two guys sitting here
Dude.
that have creative, intellectual intelligence that you may be able to use. Because we can't show up at a meeting, and we have to do it over Zoom.